Well, I finally got this cleaned up. The sun went down and now it's not hot. And I finally got this cleaned up. It was looking pretty bad. I do see that there is a leak in the excavator, and I think it's a leak in the hard line. So I may have to take that off and see if I can weld it. Yeah, I don't like that, but that's got to get fixed soon before I try to put up the trusses. But now that I've been out here and I've had time to take a shower and get cleaned up and get my head wrapped around what we've done today, you can see the ridge there. It's not in the center of the breezeway, and of course I've talked about this. We had to move it over to so we didn't hit the window over there, and that gives us a big overhang here, so that's all good. But when I come in, I can tell right now that I won't be able to live with that in the future when I'm in here walking around going, oh, that's awful. So I've come up with a solution. There's no reason why I can't add once we build the knee walls on each side, build another false roof of just 2x4s, which would drop that ceiling on the left down and get the center as close as I can to the center. And that's just going to give more room for insulation up there, and I will be happy in the long run, because it's all about symmetry, and you'll never be able to tell from any of the outside of the building that that's the case. But I want to be able to come in here and go, yeah, that looks correct, because we've got a center line that's cut in the concrete, and of course there's not going to be any doorway there, and it's going to look awful to walk in here and go, huh, why is that crooked? So this is how I get my thinking done. you just wait a little bit and things seem to pop into your head. So I'm glad that there is a solution, because I wouldn't be able to live with myself otherwise. Good morning. They're predicting 100 degrees today with the heat index over that. So Tillman and I got started at 6 o'clock. I worked an hour or so last night. We've got these sections of wall in, and that oak post over there, and we got this section of wall. So there's 2 awning units up top there. We got that post almost in, and then it won't go in any further, and there's no getting it out of there. I don't think. I might try with a big crowbar later tonight and see if I can get it back out, but it's in there really tight. I'm not worried about it, because I think when I put the beam, the lower cord of the truss on, that's going to add a tremendous amount of weight, and then I might even reach over with the excavator and just tap it down. It will go down, but I'm done tapping on the top of it with a sledgehammer. But so we're in 3 hours, 2.5 hours this morning, and now it's already like 85 or something, and I don't even dare go in the sun. So that's it for today. It's going to be hot tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I can get started on this truss up here. So that's what's happening. We're moving ahead. Well, it's another day building, and my friend Tillman showed up this morning, and we threw the, hold on, we put up the first truss, and yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. I didn't, there was a mistake made. We're gonna live with it. All right, the truss looks great. It needs to be pulled together with a come along. The joints look fabulous. I sanded it all the parts yesterday, and I put it up here, and I'm like, oh wow, this roof and this roof are not the same pitch. This roof matches the house, I don't know what I was thinking. Somehow there was a mistake made in measuring these angles and transferring them out here to get the pitch of this roof. This roof matches the house, and when we were talking about this room here, I wanted a taller truss to give it a better look inside, and so I made the trusses a different pitch of the roof, knowing that they were different. But that is surprising. That I don't know what happened. Something happened, can't go back. The other thing is, I don't think I could have changed this. If this pitch had been this pitch, we probably would have run into the window, or I had to make this roof smaller and shorter. Anyways, I'm moving ahead with my life. But this one is up. It's not squeezed together yet. I got to get the come along, squeeze it together, and fasten it in place. And then secure these oak posts in place, and then I can start building the oak truss down there, and that is going to be lifted up with the excavator. That's the only way to get that thing up here, because I don't have a crane. Excavator is going to be my crane. All right, I'm gonna get some big GRK screws and screw the bottoms in and the tops together, and then this is ready to be. I might oil it, I might not oil it. So tomorrow I've got to finish the wind braces, which are made but have to be sanded and fit. And then tomorrow I'm gonna tip this up with the excavator and hopefully put it on those two posts. So it's another hot one. It's not like yesterday, but it's hot enough. But I might as well get this stuff done so that we can get a truss up tomorrow, and we'll have half of them up. It would be awesome. All right, stick around. I think that everything is all set to go. The excavator will just be able to reach up there. So I don't know what else I can do. I've done all of the prep work. I got to put another battery in the camera, and then I'm gonna hook this up, stand this upright. I'm supposed to have help here sometime soon. And then once it's stood up, I'm going to move it over close to where it's going and reevaluate if that needs to be the case, and then we're going to lift it in place. So yeah, this morning I secured the upper truss. That's all in place. I've got boards in place to tie everything together. Yeah, I don't know what's this is just going to be. We're just going to be trying it, and hopefully it goes without a hitch. All right, the truss is up and it is all secured in place. I could not get those ends to come down, and try as I couldn't get them to come down. And you know, it's beyond me. So at some point I'm just gonna have to live with it. So that's what I did. I'm living with it. So the truss is in place. It's plumb, and it's plumbed up there as well. And there was only two minor things. Me going to the hospital, had a little slip, had to get some stitches, and these pegs got ripped off. So they're actually long enough that I think I can drive them out and replace them. But before I do that, I'm going to drive them back, try to cut them off nicely. And they're long enough, I'm going to, maybe if I can just split the difference and call it good enough. But that was a learning curve there, because the truss, the excavator can lift it. No, that's not a big deal, but it just doesn't have the reach or the finesse to get it up there and just tickle it into place. So next time I'm going to set up here, I think I'll have better control left and right with the swing motor, and I'm hoping that this one will go a lot better. But before I get to that, I've got work to do up there. Put the ridge piece in, and I got to build these walls, set the next post. So there's days of work before I get to assemble and try to put up the last oak truss. And then this last the last truss itself is pine, and I'm debating whether to just put that up in pieces, just like we did the first one. It was lightweight and easy, and my friend Tillman said he'd come and help me because that one was light. So that's the end of the day. It's sprinkling out. Doctor said to go rest my leg. So all right, going in. All right, those are the ridge pieces, and as you can see, between the two top of the trusses, there's a pocket, and that's where these go. And I figured I'm going to do one. I might as well do all three, and because today's project is to permanently tie those two rafters, those two trusses together. So the ridge is going to go in. And these guys here, which are 3x5s, I'm going to get planed up, and they're going to be some crisscross bracing to keep those two trusses from ever wanting to rack back and forth. So the plan is to get those in place today, and then I can start on the next section of walls and get ready for the next truss. All right, it's in, and it's a nice fit. And I'm gonna go up there and put some screws in the top and then start working on the diagonal braces. Let's go between the two king posts. All right, it's the end of the day. A bunch have decided, we've changed our mind in here in the breezeway. We're gonna leave the beams exposed, and we're gonna put a painted V-match pine ceiling on top of that. That'll help bring this down and make it feel more like an entry. And so when you walk out into here, it'll feel like a great room. So today I got those crisscross braces in and the ridge purling, and it was just a lot of work. Cutting into the oak is just so labor intensive, but so that bay is done. The middle bay, tomorrow I'm going to start working on the walls for here, but this middle bay does not have any crisscross pieces in there, because we're going to have a ceiling fan up in there, but this far bay will also have crisscrosses bracing just like that. So that's it. I spent the day just going at it, and I'm freaking exhausted, but I think it's going to look really good, especially when we get all the purlins up there and everything. There'll be so much to look at. All right, it's Friday afternoon, and I think it's almost 6 o'clock. Time to stop. If it's gonna rain, if it doesn't rain tomorrow, I'll be building walls. Of course, the battery died right at the end, but I got it within, well, I got it pretty darn close. There you go. That's in place. Of course, it'll have to be sanded again. I got marks all over it, but those weigh like 200 pounds, and so I'm not lifting those up in place by myself. I'm going to do the same thing to that post over there. And then I'll be able to get the dimension at the bottom. Since that post is plumb, I'll be able to get the dimension at the bottom to cut the top plate. So that's the next step, is to get that one in place. And maybe the camera won't die this time. Look at that. Oh, if I just backed up, it would have gone right in. All right, That's the last oak post. So the goal today is to build the 2 connecting walls and get the last oak truss assembled out here for tomorrow. I'm gonna hopefully get that thing installed tomorrow when the sun is out. Let's finish the next section of wall. Putting 2 more sheets of the zip on there, and every piece of zip I put on there makes me feel better. It strengthens this whole wall and make sure those trusses don't ever go anywhere. Now, of course, I've moved the staging in the way, but now you can see there's those 2 windows, those 2 awning windows. There's 1 more awning window, so when you stand here, you'll be able to see the sky and the trees and not the neighbors. And so that section's done. I'm gonna take a break, then I'm gonna build this section. All right, we got the second wall up for the day. You can see I didn't show this on the other side, but I've nailed these off. Not every hole. These are 16 penny common, so I don't think they're going anywhere. It's 16 penny into oak, galvanized 16 penny. So I'm gonna take this off. That's gonna be the way the zips. So very conventional framing in between here. Nothing special. Of course, I talked about there's no header up top because there's a 8x8 that spans across this whole thing, which is the actual header. And you can see this is, instead of doubling up 2x6s, I sawed these that way. I think they're it's just easier to install. So let's go inside and we'll take a look at what looking out our windows is going to look like when but I'm going to cover them up, so I got to look now. So I think we're going to get a good view out here. Of course, there's another 3 windows in that section and another 2 over there, so we're going to get a good panoramic view, and hopefully we'll get good solar gain this winter. And I think I have a 4x4 that's like 20 feet long, and if I cut it to 18 feet and put it across here and put some GRKs underneath, that'll keep that wall, those walls, the right distance apart. They won't necessarily be plumb, but they'll be 18 feet. So when I go to set the truss on, giving myself a better chance of success. All right, so I'm prepping stuff for tomorrow. This is the ridge purlin, and I got it down to the right thickness. Has to be the same thickness. It was too wide, so I got it sanded down. It's now the correct width, and I drilled a hole in it. It's the hole on the underside is centered. So this is the center of the building. We're going to put a ceiling fan mounted here, and I thought, geez, you know, it's going to be awful to go up there and try to drill that hole later. So I drilled it now. So I think what's going to happen is there are ceiling boards that are going to go on top of these purlins, and I'm going to leave them short here so that we've got a channel down here, and then I can go down the rafter somehow. So the wire will come up here across the top and down through the hole. I may even cut some of this out to make the channel a little deeper. Don't know yet. Anyways, got that done. You're looking right into the sun here. I've got this 20-foot long 3x8 or 3x6, and I got some. It's got some blocks on it and some GRKs underneath it to hold these posts exactly 18 feet apart. All right, I got the last oak truss. All the parts are sanded, and I got them to this point. So I'm going to come along and draw it all together, and then drill and pin it, and then it's ready to go up. Oh, and I will be so glad to be done with this heavy stuff. And I said that before, and I'll keep saying it till it's over with. So, getting closer. Now it's in that position.
Okay.
I gotta lower the bucket, I think, and rehook the chain. I think I'm gonna need all the height I can possibly get.
Is
So,
there anything else to do?
no, I think I just had to get it to here because it's pretty safe there. Now I can lower the bucket and shorten the chain up, and then I'll try it again. All right, well, let's see what happens. I'm a little nervous. Okay, it's up there. It actually went really well. It looks like I gotta back the excavator up a little bit and that thing should drop right in place. I got started early this morning because we've got thunderstorms coming about 10 o'clock. So I got that wall framed up. You can see those are all stationary units that will give us a view out in the sky. And there are 2 corner windows here. And then I got all the parts cut for this wall. I'm gonna go take a break, but it's a mirror image of that wall with 3 windows, 3 windows. And then as you round the corner, there'll be the last 2 windows over there. And one of those is an egress window. All right, I'm gonna put in the last post and the last bottom cord for the truss. All right, battery's just about to die. That is besides the 2 rafters and the king post, that's the last of the timbers. And my back says thank you very much. It doesn't look like, let's put the level on it. Let's just see what's going on here. It says it could go to the left. How about this side? Yeah, so it's gonna, right now it just has those 2 sticks holding it close to plumb, but once it racks to the left, that joint up top will close up. So, oh, good morning. I got this wall done this morning. It's been a race for against the heat and humidity. It started at 5:30 and I'm like, don't have a chance to film. It's just go, go, go. I found enough studs this morning, went down to the shop, jointed them, ripped them. Last night I laid out that wall, so that was helpful. And so we have the 2 corner windows, and you can see what we've got going on for windows here. So I think it's going to be a really nice view. And then I'm getting started, getting ready to, and I think when I put these studs in, they're a little tall, which means that that post isn't touching. Can't fix that now. I'm getting set here to put up the last rafter parts, the two rafters and king post, and I got to get them out of the garage, sand them along with the ridge. Got to get that out and sand that, and then I was going to attempt to do this myself, but I think that's silly. My friend Tillman said, just call me, I'll come up and help. And he's only 5 minutes down the road, so suck it up, Brian. I'm gonna call for help. Once I get the parts sanded, I'm gonna get them up here so that when he shows up, he just has to help put it in place. All right, good morning. It's the 4th of July, and I have met my goal of getting all of the trusses up, all the braces in place. I just need to clean up this mess, disassemble the staging, because for now that's all that's happening on the inside. The next thing is going to be putting up top plates and purlins, and I might take a day or two off, but rush. The goal was to get this done. We got people coming over. I wanted to get this to this point so people could see what we have planned. So I'm a bit exhausted, but I gotta go get cleaned up for people coming over, and I hope you people in America have a great 4th of July, and everybody else who's watching, just have a wonderful day. So thanks for watching.